The stock market crash, Michael KROGER. What do you? This is quite serious, or is it? I mean, Josh Frydenberg, I thought was making the point. There's not fundamental problems here. It's a panic, and we will come out of it. How do you see it?
Well, we'll come out of it eventually, as you always do. But Andrew, the problem is the Dow futures are down 5% tonight. The Norwegian market's down 10% at the minute. The FTSE's down 9%. The DAX is around 7 or 8% down. So this is as bad as it gets. But can it get worse? Of course it can, because what you'll see the next wave will be that, of course, companies are going to have to start issuing profit downgrades. And in issuing profit downgrades, that will affect their bank lending, because most companies will lend from banks on a ratio of 2 to 3 times their earnings before interest and tax. So that'll be affected. So you'll find a number of public companies that will be in default of their bank lending requirements, obligations, and that then puts pressure on the banks to determine what they're going to do about that. So everything rolls on like a falling.
And this is after the banks have had clubs applied to their heads about being more prudent.
It is serious.
Michael Costa, you're a former state treasurer. How serious do you call this?
Well, Andrew, I'm going to be very unpopular and take a counter view on some of this stuff.
Good.
Look, there's certainly a crisis of confidence, but remember, we're dealing with a very overvalued stock market. A stock market that's largely overvalued because of unconventional monetary policy from the GFC. I've said it on your program, and others have said it as well. We've run this monetary policy that was unsustainable. We've kicked the can uphill, and now it's developed momentum and it's rolling back down upon us. And it's not so much the coronavirus that concerns me. There was going to be an external shock at some point. And the fact that we, used all our ammunition in terms of monetary policy by running this silly approach to interest rates over a long period of time was going to lead to these consequences. Now, the issue for me is this nonsense about a stimulus. We've got a supply-side shock here, and we're talking about demand-side stimulus. We haven't learned anything from the GFC. We got out of the GFC because of real economic activity in China. Short-term stimulus is just a waste of money in my view. What they should do is put the money towards research, better medical facilities, even isolation, quarantine facilities that can be used in an emergency, and stockpiling supplies in relation to that. But just giving people money to go out and hoard, toilet paper and rice is just madness. And you just got to be very, very careful about how we handle all of this.
Well, gee, that's a very interesting. No, I'm not quarrelling with a guy who's a very good treasurer, but Michael KROGER, the point, a broader point touched on there by Michael was, here we have a stimulus package that we're told, I mean, they may surprise us, between $5 and $10 billion, to make up for the fact that China's gone turtle on us, which is a lot more than that. And I'm just wondering, what is the point? Is it to show or to do?
It's a bit of both, but is it going to make a huge amount of difference? No. I must say I love Adam Crichton's idea, by the way, of suspending super payments.
Brilliant.
What a brilliant idea. But will it get through the Parliament, because it needs legislative change? The state government should have a moratorium on payroll tax for umpteen months. These are the things that should happen, but if you can get an immediate 10% increase in people's wages, or 9.5%, whatever it is, and it's not going to affect the
budget
federally, what a great idea. What you're doing is forestalling something you're going to get access to in 2030.
What do people want? The money now, or the money many years later?
The same argument, who owns the money?
Michael?
Look, it's just going to feed back into the housing market, all our asset price inflation. I mean, we're just going to be sensible about this. The best thing they can do is restore calm in relation to the coronavirus. And that means taking measures in relation to health, in relation to isolation and quarantine, and in research to give people a sense of calm, rather than just throwing money around at stuff that is going to have no impact and make the situation worse in terms of the financial situation and the fiscal situation.